Hello, hello.
My apologies. Once again. Hello, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad to greet you all here today. My name is Radoslav Nechev. I'm author, along with Vladislav Goncharenko, of the MSAI program and one of the main professors in artificial intelligence at MIPD. So, this will be rather brief, I guess, an informal meeting where my goal is to highlight some pros and maybe cons, some properties of the MSAI program, provide you some guidance how to prepare yourself if you want to join the program or if you just want to dive deeper into the field and answer to your questions because that's actually the main part of the open days where we are willing to give you some hints, recommendations, ideas, and so on. Just in case, if someone has already been on the previous open day, that's fine because previously Vladislav was speaking mostly. Today you will get a little bit different perspective. And if you have any questions at the beginning, please feel free to ask them right now. You can do that both in the chat or orally, up to you. If you have good connection, oral is completely fine. I will try to answer them during my short speech, I guess, when it will be appropriate. So, just in case, anything to ask before I start some monologue, I'll proceed with it. 3, 2, 1. All right, everybody is keeping silent. So, what we're doing in this room? In which room? In Zoom room? Discussing the MSAI program, I guess. That was the main idea of the open day. And answering your questions. Okay, so speaking about the MSAI program, just in case, it's the more modern state of artificial intelligence master's program, fully online, fully taught in English, despite provided by MIPT, top Russian technical university. And in here, we just tried to build some thorough and relevant program which should help people from any field, literally, but with technical background, it would be much easier to dive deep into the AI field and just get some real understanding how do all these models work under the hood, why large language models are actually everywhere around the world, why they haven't solved all the problems we've got so far, but maybe by the 2027, the greater date, they might. And in advance, we would like not only to make everyone familiar and proficient with all these large language modeling and AI stuff, but actually become good engineers and maybe researchers if one wants, or research managers, engineering managers, because background in mathematics, programming, algorithms, probability theory, optimization is really needed. It's actually important and vital for any technical field, despite in some cases people say that you can just learn how to use instruments, you don't need to understand how do they work under the hood. Okay, that may be partially true, but at MIPT we definitely don't think so. So the educational process is actually focused not only on practice, it's structured in 3 different semesters, actually 4, but fourth one is a little bit different, where in the beginning, the autumn is focused, of the first year, is focused on some background, mathematics, physics, well, not no physics, sorry, it's about bachelor's, mathematics, optimization, programming. Some of the students, of course, are already proficient with that, but we still have a couple of ideas how to make the process more useful and interesting. So usually everybody is kept quite honest and they see challenging problems. The second semester is focused on some general machine learning domain knowledge, like machine learning, our central course actually, which is also taught at MIPT, at Yandex School of Data Analysis, at Moscow State University, and so on. So it's one of the main courses of machine learning in Russia, and actually it's taught abroad as well in Barcelona and Bangkok. Also, there are recommender systems, geometric deep learning. This year it was, maybe it will be changed with some other optional course, and applied statistics, and some other programming stuff to make you really proficient with not only theoretical side of the process, but actually how to implement and provide, develop, and deliver all these methods. And the third semester is the last educational mandatory semester, is actually focused on some modern applications of computer vision, natural language processing, machine learning operations. So how to make all these huge models work out there and deliver some good results to the people. And reinforced learning, which is not that applied nowadays if you don't look at its applications in computer vision, in large language modeling, but it really helps to understand how does it actually work under the hood, because almost all the recent advantages during the 2022, 23, 24, 25 years are really based on the reinforced learning field. The last semester, despite it's a semester, has no mandatory courses, is just devoted for 2 theses, as well as the fifth as the third semester as well. Sorry, I'm a little bit confusing bachelor's and master's. Right now, I'm speaking about masters. So the fourth semester is just devoted to the thesis, and usually this is either technical, research, or something in between, which in my opinion is really most interesting case, because people do some research and develop something new in some relevant field. But sometimes people just work on some applied problem and it's also fine. And I see the first question. Sir, I have fundamental understanding of AI. What do you expect from the beginner? Um, Sorry, could you please elaborate the question? Because if you have fundamental understanding of AI, what do you mean by the beginner? Like beginner of what? Of the program? Okay, while I'm waiting for the answer, let me proceed. So, theses are usually, I don't know, quite interesting. It depends, of course, on the thesis advisor and the student hard work and labor. But usually people do something great and even publish some research papers if they are research oriented, or do some technical demos, which can be even later used as some source of the idea for some business, startup, new project at work, and so on. We had such examples. And speaking about research track, actually, our first batch graduate back from 2022. He graduated in 2022. He has already defended his PhD thesis, not at MIT, at KAUST University. So we can see that actually people are gaining some momentum at the research track as well and succeed rather quickly because PhD in 3 years is really tough work. So that was really brief overview of the MSAI. And also I would like to highlight that MSAI, compared to many programs, but there are some similar programs as well, actually is based on the open materials developed by us or from by other collectives. And I am focusing on the open materials because our main goal is actually to make education available to everyone. So we share the lecture recordings, the materials on the GitHub under MIT license and so on. And that's completely fine because we are not trying to capture people attention just because we have great materials, despite we have, but also to provide them some guidance through all these tough topics because otherwise, okay, there is plenty of good materials out there on the web. And I myself studied a lot using open materials from Yandex School of Data Analysis, despite I was student of it, of Stanford, Berkeley, MIT, MIPT, and so on. So still these materials are available to everyone, but guidance and some formal diploma is of course funded by MIPT and requires some more deep attention from the team. Okay, so I actually made a short summary of the what's written on the webpage, on the internet, on other open days. So if you want to engage in the discussion, please feel free. Otherwise, I have only small additional information to add in here on our team, on our professors, teachers, teaching assistants, and so on. But otherwise, oh, I see a question. For working professionals, which course workload is recommended for this program? 4 classes, 2 classes per semester? Actually, we have only one option of 4 classes, technical classes per semester, because we don't have almost any selective courses. Actually, we have, but you can take them in addition. But there are 4 technical courses for every semester, which are mandatory to pass because actually to get proficient in the AI field, like in any other field, in 2 years, you really need to work hard and a lot. But actually, that's not such a big problem because we have almost all our students working full time, and this program is definitely compatible with full-time working. But of course, it will be rather challenging because the education takes at least 20 hours per week. So if you have 40 hours work week, you will have at least 60, maybe even more. So yeah, that's the case because otherwise it would take 3 or 4 years, and usually people want to be a little bit quicker in the domain. All right? Maybe other questions? I see other students are joining. How long is the program? Program is 2 years. It's a complete master's program. So if we're speaking about the 2025 batch, it starts in September 2025, and the thesis defense and graduation is in June or July 2027. So 2 years. Can this program fully prepare to start as machine learning engineer? Completely, yes. And being honest, actually, some of our students engage as machine learning engineers or data scientists or some other research engineers after the first year, but that only relates to maybe 15% of the batch. But yes, almost all of the people who graduated the program, if they wanted to become technical professionals in the field, they literally became. And for example, one another graduate from the 2022 batch, Dmitry Korshinov, right now is working, I guess, as senior machine learning engineer at Yandex. Late before that, he was at autonomous vehicles. Right now, maybe he has moved to some other department. I remember something like that. So our graduates actually become ML engineers and the related and tech related positions at top tier technical companies. So yes, completely. Is the information provided by the mail and did the program has an academic fee? Yeah, the information on the educational process, I guess you're asking about it. I will elaborate about that. And yeah, the program, because it's online and English program, it's not funded by the Russian government except for some international, I don't know, affairs. So there are some places where you can get accepted, for example, by the Open Doors Olympiad, but it's paid in general because Russian budget does not provide funding for the English programs. Okay, I see Julius. Sorry if I misspell your name. Holding a hand. Welcome.
Um, so my question, I have two
Mm,
questions,
sorry,
right? The second
maybe
one
I
is
can
sort of
hear you for
an
some reason. Yep,
is
I'm
sort of
sorry.
a feedback, more of a feedback than a question. Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Right.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, finally I can hear you.
Okay, so I have two questions. The second one is more of a feedback than or a suggestion than a question.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one is if there would be preparatory models, right, or sort of a boot camp that would help close knowledge gaps for
Mm-hmm.
those coming from less traditional backgrounds.
Yeah, of course there
Can
will
you hear
be.
me?
Hmm? Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. So yeah, so that would sort of equalize your knowledge prerequisites before the program starts.
Yeah, definitely. So
So that's
there will be a short course during the summer. Actually, we're a little bit refining it and waiting for the batch to combine. It will
okay.
be open
So
and freely available. And the first semester, actually, that course, this Maths Refresh course, is just to show you that you can study and how does it work. But actually, the first semester is devoted to this background difference elimination. So after the first semester, everybody is usually on the same level. Of course, people who have thorough technical background. Uh, okay, he has left. People who have a thorough technical background do have a little bit easier journey in the first semester, but that's the only difference. What level of knowledge is required to successfully pass the entrance exam? Actually, we will discuss it a little bit in depth, but actually, it doesn't require any deep knowledge. I would say it's more focused on your capabilities or to refine or to learn something basic in short period of time. Of course, if you are completely non-technical person, it will take some time, but if you have at least some technical background, it should work out. I will provide you a list of additional links. Actually, they're available on the website. But just to begin with, I would really recommend checking the Grant Sanderson 3 Blue 1 Brown channel author videos on calculus and basics of linear algebra because they are more than enough to pass the exam with appropriate results if you wish. Yeah, I see another hand in there. Welcome.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
I want to ask that just like you said that it is 2-year program of master. So I'm doing undergraduate in physics. So uh, the AI you just said it's a master program. So can anyone you just said can how much time do you they need to cover the basics of AI and everything?
Okay, it depends on what do you exactly mean by the basics, but if you have a background in physics, it would be rather straightforward and easy, I would say. But
Yeah,
to get some proficiency, you
hello,
need at least
hello,
one and a half.
sorry. Yeah, sorry, I lost connection. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. I will
So
get back to your
my
question. Right now, we continue the discussion. We'll get back to that question when we
So
finish
okay,
it.
okay.
another question I have is that
Mhm.
how do international student, it is equal to everyone, or the international student have different type of academic structure of fees, fees structure and everything.
No, actually, we have no difference between local and international students because the program is fully focused on the worldwide students. All the teaching is done in English, and everybody is in the same condition regardless of the location. So it
Okay.
doesn't matter
Okay.
from where the student is, except maybe some, I don't know, informal discussions with the teachers. Like if you have some questions, you can discuss it with every teacher in any format. So Russian speaking students usually speak to Russian if this teacher is also Russian speaking, but it's just some local specifics. Otherwise, this program is fully devoted to the international format.
So when will the program will start?
The program starts every September. So this year it will start in the beginning of September as well, and the admission will be finished like in the middle of August, I guess 15th of August.
So the last question is, so everything on this program is done on online and internet platform, online platform, sorry.
Yes.
So if you want to pass an exam or any paper, it's all completely online.
Yes, this program doesn't require any on-site presence during all the time of the program. The only required physical copies are copies of the documents when you get admitted, so you can just send it by mail. And the diploma after the graduation can also be sent via mail. So half of our graduates have never been at MIPT in their lives, but of course, we're really glad to see people in here. We provide some excursions, just journeys over MIPT. We have some on-site meetings once in half a year just for people to get offline if they want, if they can join, and so on. But it's not.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I see another couple of questions. Okay, Julius, you're welcome.
Yeah, sorry, I just my second question or inquiry
Mm-hmm.
builds on what the last speaker just said. So I was wondering why or if you can make provision for an online optional, I mean, on-campus optional program, or why you haven't provided for an offline on-campus program. To me, I feel it will be more immersive and as well as it will be more intense.
I fully agree with you, but the reasons are quite, I would say, simple because it's really hard to collect at least small group of on-site students at MIPT this year, just due to some general international reasons. That's why the English taught programs are right now, the master's programs are fully online, just because in this way we can get some group of students willing to study from all over the world. Otherwise, on site, it would be a really small amount of students, maybe some years even no students, and that would be risk for the program to be closed. But otherwise, if we gain enough students on site, it would be really great as well.
Okay, so does that mean if a student happens to make the journey, right, he can make use of MIPT's facilities and be there for the program if he chooses,
Uh,
like a regular student?
For this program, you will get access to all MIPT facilities if you are here, but for example, the dorm will be not provided because the program is online by definition. That's why it doesn't require the dorm place out of the box.
Okay, but the rest of the facilities are the same as
Yeah. So being a MIPT
on-campus.
student, you actually have all the rights as any other MIPT student. So if somebody is here,
Okay,
one can
thank you.
access the building, visit other lectures, but on site they're held in Russian. and all other stuff.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome. Okay, I see a question from neural net. Okay, never mind. I was wondering about the opportunities of for open door Olympiad. If so, can a winner to study tuition fee at MIPT for this specific program? Yeah, if somebody has won the open door Olympiad, one is capable of joining on the unpaid basis from some international affairs ministry, blah blah blah. So they provide several places on these for these Olympiad winners. So if you are one of them, just reach out us in the admission chat, and we will guide you through the process. The process is rather tricky, speaking formally, because they have to collect many different papers from many different ministries, but in general, it's completely fine, and yes, it works. Okay, any other questions, comments, suggestions? Please tell about the entrance exam, in what time it will be. So, okay, there are several entrance exams. One of them will be by the end of the July, I guess. So in a week or so, we'll publish the exact dates. I even have them, but I don't want to open the formal documentation right now. And the other try will be in August. So it will be held in two steps. First step will be the programming contest, just simple contest, which is just required to check that people have at least some knowledge of some programming languages. And the other step is just a written mathematical exam, which will be held in rather similar format of the online meeting, just for proctoring, where you will get a couple of the questions, problems to solve, and submit your solutions. But otherwise, that's kind of that. Welcome. Sir, is it semester fee or annual fee? I guess semester fee. So actually it's annual fee, but all the years it was available to, it was possible to pay it per semester because it's kind of more convenient for the students. Is it on pound or dollar? Actually, it's in Russian rubles because it's a Russian university. But because we have international students, usually the payment can be performed in euro, which is translated to Russian currency. How many people are applying for the position? You mean how many people are getting accepted or applying? Usually we get groups around like 25 to 30 students every year, not more at least the previous years, because we want the group to be rather small to have interaction within the group. And usually we get like 50, 60 applications after some discussion. So I would say two people at one place. But once again, it's not that high competition actually, because usually we have the interview as a part of the admission process, where we try to understand will the program will be a good suit for the student, and otherwise will the student feel confident on the program. So we're not trying to gather everyone just to get big groups, and we are not limited people to join as well. So if it would be a great match between the program and the student, then we're completely open to get more students, less students. It depends to It depends on the interaction, I guess. Thank you very much. I was winner of the computer and data science track this year, ranked 23, offered advanced combinatorics, but my first choice was MSAI at MIPT. Okay, so if you is a winner and you already offered this program, then I guess it should be fine. Okay, you can reach us out because I guess it should be fine. But maybe there are some issues on the formal side. But the Advanced Combinatorics is another program from MIT. I'm well aware of it because I'm also reading machine learning class at the program as well. So I know the program, director, students, and so on. Do you guys also teach the contemporary combinatorics program at MIT too, and how is it different from this program? The contemporary combinatorics is another program from MIT, and I really do teach in their machine learning class as well. But the majority of the program is a little bit different. So contemporary combinatorics is more focused on some pure mathematics, I would say, because it's one of the first programs, online programs created by Andrei Rogorodsky, our dean, actually, and one of the best teachers and mathematicians in the combinatorics field. So in the MSAI, we are more focused on the artificial intelligence, how unexpected it would be. And in the contemporary combinatorics, they are focused on combinatorics and some other theoretical mathematical stuff. But of course, they taught some basics of machine learning as well, because okay, nowadays you need it everywhere, to be honest. Okay, I hope I answered your questions. If no, feel free to ask. If I have background in math, can I go well with the program because I'm learning towards combinatorics? With which one? With combinatorics or with MSAI? Actually, you can go along with any program you wish. It's completely your choice. But I'm not really deep into the combinatorics program except for the machine learning classes because I'm no author of it. So if you wish to get some recommendations on the combinatorics, sorry, I can only forward you to my colleagues at MIT. Did MSIA have astrophysics or quantum computing program because I'm in graduates of physics? Actually, feel free to ask questions. That's why we have open days. Okay, at MSIA, we don't have really any astrophysics or quantum computing. We sometime a little ago wanted to introduce the quantum machine learning stuff, but we found out that actually without literally having access to some at least simple quantum computing unit, it's kind of strange. So no, at MSAI we focus on the AI, machine learning, and all the related subjects. But actually, physics background is really great, and I myself a little bit physics professional from the past. Actually, I've graduated in applied mathematics and physics, and first years of my experience, I was working at Large Hadron Collider in Switzerland, France, and so on, where we applied machine learning for high energy physics. So if you actually want to stay on the edge, it's completely fine and doable because there are many different ways to combine physics and machine learning. And actually, my ex-colleagues are right now working both in Russia and in Singapore on this topic. So there is a laboratory of metamaterials in Singapore University led by Andreas Tujanin. So they do both physics and machine learning AI stuff. And there is laboratory of big data analysis, something like that, Lambda, at Higher School of Economics, where people also do a lot of stuff on the edge between physics and machine learning. So what I'm saying is that if you have physics background, but you want to dive deeper in the AI, you can definitely do that. And actually, physics background is really great for AI. As I have heard from the Kaggle grandmasters and so on, one of the best AI engineers are usually come in with physics background. Sorry, I was asking about the MSAI. Can I be able to complete this program because I have better knowledge about theoretical mathematics without any experience programming? Yeah, if you have some experience in mathematics, you are completely fine with the program. You will definitely be able to complete it because we're actually teaching everything needed from the beginning. But if people have no prior experience in mathematics, they really struggle. We have 3 students who have completed it without any mathematical background. There was one biological grade 8 from MSU. There was one actually lawyer, I guess, and they completed it. But it was really tough time for them. But if you have some mathematical background, you are completely fine with it. So even don't be afraid about it. And we, of course, teach all this programming, algorithms, because it both helps to understand better what's going on and just to pass interviews as well, because almost all top companies require you to know algorithms, actually for a reason. Okay, was asking experience. Yeah, so mathematical experience is really great, actually. Then it will be much easier to understand what's going on. Do you provide GPU for teaching machine learning models for educational tasks or students use their own? We try to provide as much resources as we can, but of course, why no NVIDIA or some other top company to provide you like racks of H100 GPUs? But usually we can provide enough resources to do some applied research and studying stuff. But of course, you cannot train your own large language model, for example, because maybe due to some current reasons as well, doesn't have so much computational power. So yeah, we usually use all the available resources, both the resources which are funded by Yandex, which is partner of the program, resources funded by MyBD, and freely available Kaggle and Google Cloud resources as well, because why not? Okay, any other questions? Okay, any other questions, comments? I see the hand, welcome.
My question is, sorry, I just remembered one more thing. So my question is, you compared MSAI to the contemporary combinatorics program, as well as the advanced combinatorics program at MIT too. So I wanted to know the balance of theoretical and applied programming work in both of them, perhaps to know which program would particularly be beneficial to me. I'm coming from a non-maths background, even though I have elementary programming experience, but I would like to at least build up a certain level of theoretical basis on which to then continue my programming endeavors. So I wanted to know which of the program, because I've also explored the modules in the combinatorics program. By the way, I have a finance sort of background, so so that's why I would want to know if that is it's more beneficial or this.
Okay, so being honest, at on the MSAI program, I would say we have 50-50 between theoretical stuff and applied stuff, because we want you to get on-hands experience. And on the combinatorics, as far as I know, it sounds like 70-30 with the majority for the theoretical stuff. Sounds like that. But being honest, actually, it's hard to understand which program is appropriate just from the pure numbers, because usually you need to interact with some teachers, group mates, previous year students, and so on, to understand what is really better. But I, of course, think that the solution should be made by you, not by some recommendations. So here we have like a similar number of theoretical and practical ideas on the
Okay, so you're saying if a person is looking towards developing skills, adjacent or relevant skills in machine learning for finance or financial modeling, advanced financial modeling or advanced data analytics as applicable to economic modeling, right? You're saying the MSAI might be more beneficial than
Okay,
uh,
according to what you are
than
saying, I guess yes. If you are going to apply it somewhere in financial markets or just some applied domains, then I guess yes. If you are pure
okay.
mathematician,
Thank
though,
you
then
very
definitely combinatorics would be better.
much. And then, sorry, one more thing before I before I let you. Sorry for the hassle. So I believe the modules as described on the website, right, is exactly what would going to be followed through across the program.
Which model? Sorry, I did not
I
get the
said the
question.
modules you've described that are presented on the website, on the
Yeah, yeah,
MSI
of course.
website.
Exactly. Yeah, we have the short curriculum of the whole program on the MSAI program website. That's true.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay. Dear students, potential students, any other questions maybe? Does your program also teach about how to be successful in making useful solutions in Kaggle competitions? Okay, being honest, we don't teach how to become a competition master because actually competitive machine learning is a little bit different from the applied machine learning, which is beneficial for research or some products. But all the needed background is definitely given, so you can participate, and we encourage it in Kaggle competitions, but we do not solve them on class, for example. Mhm. Have I answered your question? What diploma will be awarded upon successful completion of the program? So just regular MIPD diploma recognized worldwide. So it allows you to do anything you wish, like apply for talent visa, do PhD work in any technical company, because actually there is plenty of MIPD graduates who work all over the world. So it's completely fair and general MIPT diploma, which also requires some fair work. So it's not uh, just simple pack walk along the courses. It will be challenging. You're welcome. Do you mind referring to application deadlines again? What is the latest day? The latest day is August 15th, but I really do not recommend to keep it till the last day. I would say that maybe August 10th would be much better to apply because the last day usually gets the highest attention from potential applicants and the admission office is just overwhelmed. Can I use formulas while at an exam? So you are fine to use some formulas, textbooks, but you are not fine to use any kind of electronic devices, internet, except for the proctoring. So please know ChatGPT stuff and all, because yes, they can solve the admission exam rather fine. That's not a secret. But if someone passes the exam by using these GPT stuff, then how one is going to study? The exam is not filtering out completely, so it just requires you to gain some basic knowledge and to show that you actually have it. But if you want to have some formulas written down, no problem. We're checking not the remember, not that person can remember the formulas, but the fact that you can do some applied problems which you quickly got prepared for. In what form will there be exams during the session? Okay, actually two formats. First one, there might be written exams like on the optimization where you get some list of problems and, for example, 24 hours to solve them and submit them. Or oral exams, which will be held in kind of the same format, but one-by-one calls with the teacher, with me, for example, or Vladislav or other teachers, when it's actually something like an interview. If you have ever passed interviews for some tech companies, you just get questions on some different topics over the course and you answer them. You might know something, you might forget something, that's completely fine. We are looking at the general understandings of the topic, and it both helps to maintain good understanding of the group dynamics and also to highlight some issues in the knowledge, because actually on the exam, it's fine to find some problems in the knowledge to later resolve them. When the preparatory course will start? I guess it will start somewhere next week to get you prepared for the exams. But in the meantime, as I already said, if you are willing to dive into the topic, please check the 3Blue and Brown videos, because they are quite great and you are completely fine to, and it will be really useful to check them before you start. Here is a link just in case. Which courses are we going to teach in the program? Okay, sorry, I've already said it in the beginning. I will say once again, but just in case, here is the whole curriculum available on the website as well. So here it is. So there will be 4 courses every semester. First one, math refresher, just some math basics of AI, calculus, linear algebra, and so on. Probability theory and statistics, software development in Python to get proficient with writing in Python, and algorithms and data structures. First semester is devoted to some technical and theoretical background of the AI field, general knowledge. Second semester is devoted to machine learning applied stuff like machine learning itself, the central course of the program, applied statistics and data analysis, software development and data storages, which actually continues the Python development course, but now deeper, and I would say it's software development. And the recommender systems course, which is devoted to recommender systems. It's actually an addition to the machine learning course, because usually the recommender systems ranking problem is a little bit lost in the majority of the programs. And the third semester is devoted to some cutting edge results, and not cutting edge results as well, in the applied fields like natural language processing, computer vision, reinforced learning, and machine learning operations to wrap everything up and deliver the solutions as a product. Semester is half a year, actually a little bit shorter. So there is fall semester from September to January and spring semester from February to June. I'm asking about you specifically, what you are going to teach us. Excuse me, but I literally said the courses. You mean the syllabus of every course or what? I can share it to you, but I'm definitely not saying them all out loud, because it will take like 15 minutes to highlight all the topics being covered. I'm going to teach you machine learning and the natural language processing and part of the reinforced learning courses, being the main teacher. But of course, there are plenty of my colleagues like Ivan Solomarin, Alexander Katrutsa, Vladislav Goncharenko, Maxim Begarev, and so on, who are teaching as well. Yeah, but I'm also teaching you, not the whole program, because it will take like all my time and it's impossible. The essence of calculus is enough for the test. Is this enough? Okay, it's not completely enough because there also will be some stuff on linear algebra and probability theory, but it's a good start. In addition, you can check the previous year exam. Actually, it's available in the Telegram chat for the admission students. And also you can check the mathematics for machine learning book, which can be also found on the website. Just in case, here is it for your sake as well. I send it into the Zoom chat. And here is the link to the Telegram chat, where you can actually ask these questions and get some links as well. Okay. Goodbye. So, any other questions, comments, suggestions? You're welcome. Last and don't get mad, I think the fee is so high. Actually, being honest, I completely agree with you. It's enormous, and unfortunately, we do not control it. It's controlled in general by the administration. Actually, from my point of view, it should be like 2 times lower, but unfortunately, I can't force it. Okay, then thank you for your attention. Please join the admission chat if you are not already there, and please ask any questions if you have them rest. If you're in control, I think it's free, by the way. Thanks for the amazing session. You're welcome. Actually, also, if you want just to check out the materials, please feel free to check our GitHub organization, where we actually, as I already said, have the majority of the materials free and openly available. So the slides, notebooks, and so on, you can simply access them and study if you wish in your free time. And if you wish guidance, of course, join our program. By the way, what's the ranking of MIPT in Russia? Okay, I guess it's the first one, maybe second, because High School of Economics is also tackling us year by year, but usually for the majority of the years, MIPT was #1 in Russia in technical field. And actually, it's one of the strongest Russian universities, and compared to other universities from the ratings, it seems like it's not that high. But actually, speaking about the quality of the professionals, I would say it's in top 10s maybe in the world, because there are MIT graduates all over the world in top companies and top positions, and we have only like, okay, less than 10,000 students in general right now from all the years. So it really is given some hard time during the studies, but it gives benefits when people succeed. I think we should introduce ourselves. If you want to introduce yourself, feel free. I'm actually here till the last question of students, okay, in adequate limits. That's why I'm more diverted towards MIPT, although ITMU and High School of Economics are also becoming really successful in STEM and special in computer science. Completely true. High School of Economics and ITMO are also really great, and actually part of our team are teaching there as well. For example, I am reading the Natural Language Processing and Reinforced Learning class at ITMO. Vladislav is reading Machine Learning and Development in High School of Economics. So they're really good as well. But of course, as MIPD graduate and deputy head of the machine learning department, I've opened here 4 years ago. Of course, I'm fond of MIPD in the first place because actually MIPD taught me to be a specialist. But yeah, you're right. These universities are great as well. The reason I apply because I like Rasta physicist and the AI program. Okay, super. Actually, I guess I also love them as well because. But actually, speaking about the physics specialists, also not only Russian specialists are great. For example, Richard Feynman. I really love his lectures, which can be found online. If you're a fan of physics, I guess you already have seen them. But if no, please check them out. His lectures from like 60s he read in Princeton were refined using AI technologies by Microsoft, and they are really great just to listen to them, like have fun and so on. But I found one most unusual thing that most of successful teachers from MIT are leaving MIT and joining universities like Caltech, Annapolis, and High School of Economics. Actually, I would not quite agree with you because people are really joining MIT, joining Caltech, Annapolis, High School of Economics, but they're not leaving MIT. I don't know, maybe it's a little bit different over the world, but here in Russia, it's completely fine to work or teach at several different places as well. Like I myself teach at MIT, at MSU, Moscow State University, at ITMO, at Hubble Space in Barcelona and Bangkok. So, kind of, I love teaching, and I think I have to do that and deliver knowledge only at my home university, but everywhere. Like other teachers, like Alexander Kutrutsa, he reads courses at MIT and he also teaches at Caltech. Like Alexander Gesnikov, he's not from our program. He's now rector of Innopolis, but he also is teaching at MIT for all this time and so on. Any general book I would recommend you related to AI? Okay, I have actually two books to recommend you. First of all, as a background recap, if you want to dive deeper, please check the Mathematics for Machine Learning. It gives background. But if you want to dive deeper, of course, it would be the Deep Learning book by young good fellow Joshua Benjo and Aaron Curville. It's one of the best books out there. It's almost 10 years, but it's still great. If you want, you can check, of course, Bishop, but for me, it was a little bit too theoretical. And if you want to dive deeper into the reinforced learning, it would be Richard Sutton's book. Here it is as well. Here is the link. And if you want to dive deeper specifically in the natural language processing, it's not a book, actually. It's just a interactive website by a friend of mine, great teacher, great professional, Lena Vojta. So she has this NLP course for you. It's just an introduction to NLP, but it's really beautiful. You can definitely check it. There is also the great 100-page machine learning book from Andrei Brukov, but I would not recommend to use it as the first main book on machine learning because it's rather brief and it's plus if you're already a professional. But if you're only getting into the field, then it's just too short to brief. Okay, any other questions, comments? Okay, then last call for your questions. You can still ask them in the chat, but I guess if there are no questions, there is no reason to keep you waiting on Saturday. 3, 2, 1. Here is a question. Okay, there are questions. By the way, what is the department we are going to be associated within the MIPT? So the department is Machine Learning and Digital Humanities Department. It's allocated on faculty of, okay, it's now called FISTEC School of Applied Mathematics and Informatics, but the program itself is allocated on the online department of MIPT. It's called like START. Okay, just online department where all the online programs are collected in the administrative manner, but the department is related to the PSAMI. From my perspective, it's really an insightful session. Okay, thank you for your feedback. I'm not reading it out loud because it seems like not a question, but just your gratitude. So thank you for kind feedback. Oh, actually, great results according to your several times winning the Olympiad. So really great. FPMI, yeah, FPMI. Actually, in Russian it's called FPMI. In English it's called this way. Welcome. Actually, there should be some ways to interact with the Russian government as well, but I guess not for this year. Oh, and I see the my colleague and also the program author Vladislav Goncharenko has joined us. So
Yeah.
we almost finished with everything, but if you want to add anything from your side, welcome. Otherwise, we covered all the questions, the program structure, how to study, how to combine it with work, and so on so far. So if you have anything personal, please bring it out. All right. So at least you saw both our faces today. So last call for the questions once again. Okay, so 3, 2, 1. Last call for questions. I appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us today on the weekend. Okay, so once again, if you are not in the chat, please join the chat because there you can still ask any questions, reach us out and so on. Here is the link. And hope to see you on the exams and on the program as well. Thank you. Bye.
Hello. Hello. Guys, what do you think about this program? Hello, guys.